In case my voice wasn't clear or was low, please inform me so I can check the audio settings. Okay, so hello and welcome. My name is Ahmed. I think majority of you know me, so this is the second time that I do this course. So let's create. So our course is just normal hacking course, just focusing on bug bounty hunting. Usually I have slides, but the slides are not uh, self-created by me. I got them from some online contents like CH and other courses. We will go through slides, but not as much as technical stuff because I'm a technical guy, so I like to teach everything technically. Uh, but first, and usually I use Visual Studio Code, as you see here, to express my thoughts and discuss everything here. So in case you have any questions, simply you can either ask it by talking, or you can drop it in the messages section inside Google Meet. In case I didn't notice it, please notify me. So just a little bit about me. So I started cybersecurity uh, in June 2019. I started as a bug bounty hunter, part-time bug bounty hunter. So I started since June and left bug bounty hunting in April 2021. So now I do bug bounty hunting, but very few times, maybe once a month, for example. I did in bug bounty hunting some achievements. For example, I was ranked first in US DoD, US Department of Defense, and IBM as well. Also, I scored over 13K reputation on HackerOne during these 2 years. Plus, I found over 2,000 vulnerabilities in over 200 programs. Programs including Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and these important companies. And also now I'm founder of a company called CyberSec, currently CEO. Also work as a red teamer at a company in Dubai. I think this is enough. So our course is focused on bug bounty hunting.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Was you a developer or have a programming skills before you get into bug bounty?
Yeah, absolutely. I forgot to mention. I also worked as a senior Python developer in 2019 at a company called AIY in Lebanon. So I was responsible for automating online bots and by bypassing security controls found on Akamai. You know Akamai? It is like Cloudflare and so on. So I was programming like automated bots that do shopping online by itself. So I have experience in development, specifically backend development. I know Python, PHP, Bash, this stuff. So our course will be focusing on bug bounty hunting mindset, methodology, and concepts. We will talk deeply about reconnaissance and all its phases. If you see this image, so I already posted on internet on my GitHub profile about it. So we will discuss everything here separately. How to check about, for example, target, scope, DNS acquisitions, how to enumerate subdomains using Shodan and Senses properly, because if you use them properly, I assure you, you will find vulnerabilities. Also, how to filter subdomains, scan subdomains, check for subdomain takeover, scanning ports, scanning services behind ports, scanning for subdomains, even subdomains, checking GitHub. We will talk about GitHub as well, how to extract information about program. Sometimes employees of the program found, for example, on HackerOne Bugcrowd, and find vulnerabilities through these employees. Also, we will talk about content discovery, how to brute force, how to fuzz. What else? Here, not just brute forcing directories, maybe your brute force file, you brute force username, you brute force password. Sometimes you brute force subdomain as well. And maybe sometimes you brute force for endpoints. Wayback, we will talk about wayback URLs, wayback machine, spidering, and how, for example, to find for example, files through wayback old files that maybe will contain secret information. Also, we will talk about JavaScript files, how to extract them, parse them, search for secrets inside or endpoints, APIs, so on. Okay, but first, this session is just targeting the basics because we have here students that know hacking but not so much. So in this course we have like pro students, we have students who already are bug bounty hunters, but they are not able to find good quality bugs, which my job is to help in finding good quality bugs. Also, we have students that knows what is hacking, knows some techniques related to hacking, but they are far from bug bounty hunting. So I'm gonna like chain everything to make you benefit from hacking in general and bug bounty in specific. Okay, so the people that are joining now, no worries, the session is recorded, so everything we discussed before, you can check it in the video. Okay. Okay, so first thing we want to discuss is reconnaissance. The second thing we want to talk about network scanning plus enumeration for the system network. Plus, we will talk about vulnerability assessment. And we will talk about some tools. For example, if you know Nikto scanners, Nessus, and so on. Also, for sure, when we talk about network scanning, we have to discuss Nmap deeply. So in Nmap, we will talk about how to bypass some firewalls, how to send the request properly, the packets, sorry. For example, we can send the fragmented packets that will bypass the firewall, how to check for the open ports, how to obtain information deeply from them. So we will talk about advanced stuff. And you will notice during the course that I will try as much as possible to explain simply in simple way. And at the same time, while explaining simply, you will notice that the steps are not hard. So this means that actually hacking is not hard, but at the same time is not easy. The thing that make it simple is just knowing the information clearly and know from where to obtain the information and learn. Also forgot to mention here that I am self-taught in the hacking field, even in development. I'm also self-taught in development in hacking. So everything here I'm discussing is learned by myself. No one teach me anything. Sorry, taught me anything. So, but still, I'm open if you have any ideas, if you have, for example, any tips, we share knowledge here because I don't know everything. Same for you. So here for sharing knowledge. In system exploitation section, We will talk about Metasploit and other stuff. For example, exploiting RCE, maybe from SSH, FTP, so on. Also, we will have a lab, simple machine, that for example, your purpose is to get RCE from it. You have to get RCE. And we will use something called Metasploitable. So Metasploitable is like, it is an operating system, but it is a vulnerable operating system. So Metasploitable is just to learn to, it is virtual machine to apply your skill, for example, on it. And if we found something live on bug bounty hunting on real programs, we will target them using system exploitation techniques that we're gonna learn. Because the purpose here is to find real vulnerabilities. And even this lab, it can be used in actual bug bounty hunting. So you will consider it, for example, like you find it in a real target. Then we will discuss web hacking, web application hacking specifically. And here we're not gonna focus on everything because all of you or most of you knows what is XSS, what is CSRF, what is SSRF. We know all the concepts. We know all the theory, but we don't know how to exploit them properly. So here the best way to learn is to show you my reports. So I'm gonna disclose lot of my HackerOne reports for each type of bug. And here we will focus on business logic bugs, also server side issues and the client side issues. Why business logic vulnerabilities? Because nowadays security is getting harder and hacking is even getting harder. So you find normal XSS is now almost impossible. Just in an input, for example, like adding alert, for example, like this, it is almost impossible to find XSS like this inside inputs. So chaining reconnaissance with simple bugs like XSS, you will find. If you found, for example, new subdomain published by the company that didn't hosted it somewhere online, and through brute forcing the subdomains you were able to find, you may simply find easy bugs like SQL injection on login, for example. Or, okay, just give me a second. Just give me a second. So why I will talk much more about reconnaissance, because in bug bounty hunting, targeting a lot of public programs is not easy. So the best chance to find more vulnerabilities is to find new endpoints, new URLs, new subdomains, new so on stuff, information. So whenever you collect a lot of information about a target, this gives you big chance to find more vulnerabilities, easy stuff as well. And everything will be discussed in my reports. I will show you from simple bugs like HTML injection to denial of service, server side and the client side denial of service, to RCEs. And also what we also have is we will talk about mobile hacking, also mobile app hacking. Here we will focus more on Android, not iOS, because iOS doesn't have emulators. Also, iOS, you should have iPhone, for example, to test an iOS app. And for every program on HackerOne, there is iOS and Android, so you can test the Android. And if you already knew the Android that I will teach you here, you will be easy to proceed to the iOS. Maybe we can have a little bit knowledge about it, but we will not discuss it too deep. Okay, for mobile hacking, we will talk about reverse engineering. We will talk about decrypting, JavaScript files inside, APKs. We will talk about source code, review, analysis, whatever it is called. We will talk about static analysis, and we will talk about dynamic analysis. Dynamic analysis, which include decrypting, SSL, certificate. Because if you're familiar with mobile hacking, most of the applications comes with encrypted SSL certificate. So you can't able to intercept the request. That's why we will learn two methods to decrypt this SSL certificate. It is called SSL pinning. So it is good to know because a lot of hackers forgot to test the mobile applications in the bug bounty programs in case of public or private. Also, source code analysis and the static analysis is very important when related to mobile hacking because a lot of programs will miss, for example, important information inside their source code and forgot to remove them. For example, it will maybe IP address, secret token, and so on. So this is very important section. It will be recorded, so in case there is advanced stuff related to decrypting files, you can review it more than once. Last thing, we will talk about forensics investigation. This is just briefly, for example, you have to know in case your computer was hacked, how to prevent it, how to like trace and check where is the malware infected, how the vulnerability came, or how the exploitation was done, and be able to track it, remove the malware, secure yourself. So here what we will do is that we will exploit a web app vulnerability, which is file upload on my machine. And through it, we will upload a reverse shell and we will get RCE. And then we will detect the attack and then remove it. So like this, we will do the scenario. What else? Yeah, it's almost like this. And of course, we will do like summary. We will target real programs. For example, maybe Sony bug bounty program on HackerOne and so on. So as a summary, in order to summarize everything, we will go through reconnaissance, scanning, exploitation, web hacking, mobile hacking, forensics. Not necessarily Sony, because during each section, we will be hacking. So during this network section, we will be targeting real environments. During reconnaissance, we will be targeting real environments. I have in the version 1, the course version 1, some students, while I am explaining, while I am searching, they were like practicing everything I'm giving, and they were finding vulnerabilities. One of them, through Wayback, when we discussed Wayback URLs, he found an endpoint using Wayback for Netflix program on BugCrowd that allows to unsubscribe any user. Our friend here, maybe he's called Jawad. He's my friend, and he's also joining again the course. So he found SSRF as well, where we were explaining about reconnaissance. At the same time, he found SSRF. So it is good to play with the targets that we're giving here. Okay, so just now for the time being, this first session will be basics, and It's important also to know generic information security concepts, because we're not just bug bounty hunters. In the end, we are hackers. We may work in different fields related to hacking and technology. Speaking of this, I have some slides. I would like to go through them quickly and discuss the important stuff. These slides are gathered from CEH course, the version 9, that was maybe founded in 2017. So why? Because there are some people with us don't know much about hacking. So it's better to start from 0 to 100, not from intermediate level directly. And I will try everything to be explained very briefly and basics. Okay, so there are common terminologies used inside hacking field. Most important thing is 0 day. So what is 0 day? It is a vulnerability in a software that is not known yet, and it is not patched yet. So it is not fixed yet, and at the same time, like a group of hackers just know about it. So they tend to exploit it without the knowledge of fixing it yet. We hear on internet, for example, on social media, that a hacker X, for example, found a 0 day exploit and started spreading it on internet. We found a lot of 0 days in some third-party applications like Jira, Atlassian, and so on. Vulnerability, we already know what is vulnerability. Is any weakness, design, or bad implementation, or an implementation error inside the code. This called vulnerability. Exploit. After a vulnerability, we do something called exploit. We exploit a system after finding a vulnerability inside. So we breach it, we access it using unauthorized techniques. Payload is, for example, a piece of code that helps you doing the exploitation. So for example, we found a vulnerability, let's say old version SSH inside a system. We want to exploit it. In order to exploit it, we need to write a simple payload. For example, to send a request to the server, to fool the server to do something in order to make exploitation successfully. And here there is important word. It is called bot. Bot, it is a software application that can be controlled remotely to execute or automate predefined tasks. So bot, it is like automated software that can do stuff for you. For example, you hear about denial of service bots or the zombie bots. For example, if you compromise the computer, if you hack the computer, you can use it to launch attacks on other computers from this computer, so you can hide your identity. This computer called zombie or called a bot. Okay. This stuff you can read. The things that I don't explain, you can read them. It is helpful for you as a generic knowledge in case you worked in the cybersecurity field. So every information security, if you want complete design, it should have confidentiality, integrity, availability, authenticity. This stuff, we will talk about them when we want to assess the vulnerability severity. So if you find, for example, any vulnerability like SQL injection, XSS, and so on, you have to assign something called CVSS, which is the severity of this issue. Is it low, is it medium, or is it high critical? Based on this stuff, you will assign the severity. So confidentiality ensures that you have authorized access. Confidentiality based on authorization. Integrity based on the trust of the data and the resources. Availability, you can say, for example, like availability in SQL, let's say in RCE, remote code execution on a server has a high availability because the attacker can hide himself if there is no protections like antiviruses and so on. So the availability will be high. Okay, here just they are saying that security should be equal,
Ahmad,
should be,
Ahmad, I have
yeah,
one question here for the
yeah,
availability.
sure,
I
sure.
think I have understood from my perspective what is meant by availability is, let's say that if I'm performing some DOS attack on a website, so
Hmm.
that server will be down. So in that case, that
Yes,
server will not be available for some users. So there the availability is getting lacked. So in
yeah,
terms of the
absolutely.
availability is like mean we are making sure that the server is available for all the users who are trying to accessible. Am I right on
Yeah,
that one?
absolutely. Absolutely. So
Okay.
availability can be on the two sides, from the
Okay.
hacker and from the client itself.
Okay.
For example, availability for the client, as our friend said, we have to ensure that even if there is an attack inside a server or inside a corporation, for example, uh, the employees or the client or the data of the user will still found, not, for example, stolen, or even the employees should be able to do their work randomly. From the hacker perspective, for example, he should ensure that he still can be able to breach this and exploit this data without being noticed. So yes, availability can be on both sides.
Understood.
Okay. Okay. Here, just balancing between security and business word, because you can't ensure a lot of security restrictions and at the same time uh, let user to do. For example, let's suppose we have a banking system. In the banking system, you have a password, you have two-factor authentication, you have backup codes, and sometimes you have fingerprints. So these stuff are so much security restrictions. That's why it will make the functionality complicated, and also the usability of the client will be very complicated. So always security should be equalized between functionality and usability, and each of this depends on the business type. For example, business type of bank is different than Facebook, Twitter, for example. Okay, what's else? Okay, this is also important. There are like three types of threats. Threats on the network level, where attackers can do everything remotely. Uh, as our friend said as well, some of them denial of service attacks, sitting at your home and sending high traffic requests to a website or server which may be down. Host host level threats, uh, like malware attacks, viruses, password attacks, brute forcing, also denial of service. So privilege escalation, because here we're talking about the host, the users, the clients. Here on the application level, just interacting with the application, trying vulnerabilities on the application. So as you see also, we can consider brute force here and here at the same. For example, here, if you're doing brute force, you're brute forcing the user password. Here, you're brute forcing through the application. So even the application can be harmed if, for example, wasn't able to handle a lot of requests. Okay, these also we will talk about them later because there are much type of attacks in bug bounty hunting. Okay, this is also generic information. It is important. So the information security in general has two sides: the defensive sides and the offensive side. Defensive is for protection, detection, response. The offensive side is for hacking, attacking, uh, and doing offensive stuff. For example, here you secure, you prevent, you detect, and here you attack. So just like this. That's why later on they invented something called the blue teaming for the defensive and red teaming. For example, the company that I work for, I work as a red teamer here in the hacking side, in the attack side, while we have other teams that work in the blue teaming, in the security analysis and protections. We all know what is hacking. Also, we know that there are some types of hackers black hats, white hats, gray hats. So the main three, you can read the rest. The main three important type of hackers are the first three. The black hat is uh, the criminal one that hacks illegally. The white hat hackers are like me and you people because we hack on bug bounty programs, we hack for companies, for organizations ethically. We hack if there is something confirmation written or agreement. We don't hack illegally. Gray hats are mix between black hat and white hat. For example, you can work for a company as a white hat hacker, but at the same time, outside of your work, you can attack illegally some other stuff. This is important, and this can be used as well in bug bounty hunting or penetration testing in general. So, hacking phases. We have usually 5 phases of hacking. The first phase, if you notice, it's called reconnaissance. Reconnaissance and scanning almost the same. They differ just slightly with some techniques, but in the end they are almost the same. So what is reconnaissance? Reconnaissance simply this terminology came from the recon army in actual army stuff, where they do recon for the battlefield before they go into the war, and they try to collect information about their enemies, their land, and so on. So this is the terminology reconnaissance where it came from. So reconnaissance in hacking is simply collecting as much information as you can and as you will be able to in order about the target in order to find weaknesses, vulnerabilities, any weak points in order to use them against your target. So for example, about reconnaissance, collecting organizations, information for clients, employees, operations, kind of work, maybe their geolocation, network systems, and so on. Reconnaissance can be passive and can be active, these types. Passive, simply collecting this information without targeting, without actual interaction with you and between you and the target company affected. Let's say that we need to target a bank, for example. So passive reconnaissance will be like searching for public records, for news, maybe going on site to the bank, but without entering it, just like taking photos from outside, checking number of cameras, number of employees, security employees, and so on. Active reconnaissance require interacting with the target. So you do phone calls, you know the websites that have help stuff on side the website. So you try chatting with them, asking some questions. Maybe you can know the duration of employees, the shifting time, and so on. Also, you can go inside the bank, talk to employees, try and do a transaction just to monitor and see the behavior of the employees. For example, just by entering the bank and doing a transaction, you can see the the software, the operating system type, in case Windows, Linux, what uh, what is the networking, for example, devices inside. They use Cisco, they use other stuff. If they have for example, multiple Wi-Fis or one Wi-Fi, uh, you can see how old the computers, the systems, and the softwares that they are running. Because most of the banks, if you notice, the employee work on the table, and her computer, for example, opened. You can see whatever you want. You can watch her do everything. So you can know even the software that they are using. Maybe they are using old version. The computer is connected to internet. You find vulnerability in the old version of the software, you get RCE. Simple as it is. Okay, in the scanning, so also we talked, it is similar to reconnaissance. We usually in bug bounty hunting, we combine it because we don't have physical attack in bug bounty hunting. We don't go physically on the target. So there is pre-attack phase, the actual phase, and then the post phase. So a pre-attack phase refers to scanning everything prior to launching an attack. So just to collect information, for example, like scanning the network, identifying open ports, protocols used, services, vulnerability assessment, and so on. And also you extract information. So it is just theory. We will see everything technically. And you will notice that I hate theory and I hate concepts because they try to explain a lot and they try from a simple stuff to do a lot of detailed stuff that is useless. So I don't like theoretical stuff a lot. For example, all these talks you can do them in one command. Okay, after collecting much information about the target and finding, for example, a good open port and a vulnerable service running behind it, you can launch your attack. So here comes the exploitation phase, which is gaining access to the system. So you try first to exploit the system and obtain access to the operating system or the application running on the computer. For example, let's see on a web application-based perspective. You can exploit get RCE to the operating system or to the server using file upload, using local file inclusion, path traversal, SSRF, so on. So not just open port or vulnerable CVE inside a service or something. Okay, so attacker gain access to the application, operating system level application, and network. Because you hack the operating system, if you are root privilege, you can start scanning the internal network. But if you are not root privilege, you have to escalate, called something, it's mentioned here. So you have to escalate your privilege. Escalating privilege means that going from a simple user that has normal privilege, for example, just read permissions, to a root user that has higher privilege, which is write permission. So you can write data inside the server, not just read them. There are a lot of techniques. Maybe we will discuss them, maybe not, because in bug bounty hunting, you are not allowed of escalating privilege. In bug bounty hunting, whenever you access a server, get RCE, you just stop and report immediately. Otherwise, you will be punished for it. Sorry. So, but in red teaming, you can escalate privilege, extract information, do anything. A scenario happened in my work. We were able to access a server, and luckily we were with the root privilege. So what we did is that we installed Nmap on their server. So we installed Nmap on their server, and we tried to scan their internal network from remotely, because we accessed their server, and from them we were able to access other 3 servers, including printers, Windows and Linux operating systems. So it is very dangerous in case you were able to obtain RCE, because if they are running on a network that has also other devices and they are weak, you can exploit them all. Session hijacking, denial of service, buffer overflow. We will talk about such stuff like stealing cookies, password cracking, denial of service, but on the web application level, not the operating system itself. Because this course is not for red teamers, is not for exploiting kernel exploitation and system exploitation. It is just for using system exploitation that will help you in bug bounty hunting. Okay. So after you gained access to a server, you have to ensure that this access will be maintained for you. You will not lose this access. This comes a place where you try to hide yourself and implement something called backdoor. Backdoor, which is simple malware or simple connection that will stay for you even if you lost the connection. For example, whenever you want to enter a target system or a server, it is not fair every time you need to enter the server, you need to exploit the same vulnerability. No, you exploit it once, and then you plant something for you inside the server, and you access it through it. A real scenario happened with my work. We accessed a server through an SSH that we were able to find it on their GitHub private repository after we hacked their GitHub account. So from it, we found the password of SSH. We accessed the SSH, and the thing that we did is that we generated a new SSH keys for us. So they have 8 SSH keys. We added a new key. We added 9. So there are now 9 SSH keys, and we accessed them. You accessed their server through our SSH key. So when their forensics investigators came and checked the server, they told them that you have a vulnerability that could lead to RCE. They fixed it, and they thought themselves they are secure. At the same time, we were able to access their servers through the planted SSH key that we did it. Okay, so after accessing the server, simply you can download data, upload data, manipulate data, delete data, do everything you want. Last step is clearing your tracks. Clearing tracks means that whenever you log into a system, there is something called logs. What logs do is that it records every, for example, connection coming to the server or going out. So you enter a server, there inside the logs, for example, IP named X entered the server. So you try to cover your tracks by deleting the logs that referred to you. So there are simple techniques. They are actually not hard. We can check them as well. Some simple commands in Metasploit if you accessed it through Metasploit, or here on the server, I think it is called var logs maybe, or etc logs, I didn't remember, /var /logs. etc. Let me check. So let me just enlarge the screen so you can see. Oops. Just give me a second. Wow, Windows crashed. Okay, where logs are stored in Linux. So simply anything you don't know, just Google it. Okay, it is in var log, not logs. ls/var/log. Okay, so see that here in, so just to clear something, this is how the way that I like to explain everything should be practically done, even if I did something related to slides. Because what is the useful information if you knew that you can clear your logs? Okay, this is useful information, but the most useful thing is that how to clear them. This is the most useful thing, because you're gonna practice everything maybe in your real work, so you have to do them. So whenever you access a Linux system, Linux server, there is logs are recorded. Or logs like are in the directory /var/log. So we can see that we have MySQL logs. We can see that we have Redis logs. We can see also that we have apt for installing something. As a forensic investigator, that I always monitor logs. In case I saw apt, I got like cautious. Why? Because maybe I didn't install anything inside the server. So maybe someone accessed the server and tried apt install any tool, for example, anything here. So and this what we did when we accessed the server, we installed Nmap. So we did apt install Nmap. But after installing Nmap, what we did is that we went to the logs and we cleared the command that said we installed Nmap. And when we finished, we deleted the Nmap. And whenever you want to do something on the server, just try to do it here. Var temp for temporary stuff, temporarily. So you don't get confused, and when you install something, you delete here directly. So you don't confuse where I stored the file. Even you can search for it with the command called find. Okay, so for people who maybe didn't get it properly, who are new to hacking field, this is Ubuntu server, and these are Linux commands. We will talk about the requirements after we finish this slide. Okay, we know ethical hacking. What is it? Physical security, it's not related to bug bounty hunting, but it is good to know. Physical security is something related to, like, some natural disasters happen, floods, fire, earthquakes, dust. So you have to plant also these protection mechanisms inside your corporation or organization. Man-made threats like terrorism, wars, that like is happening nowadays. So also you have to implement like restrictions, maybe lock room with multiple keys, with a bulletproof doors, and so on. That, for example, there is something important, something called dumpster diving and theft. So a lot of foreign companies inside, for example, countries like USA, they have a specific trash for papers. So whenever they do something on a paper and they don't want it anymore, so they put it in a machine that will scratch the paper and then throw it in the garbage. Some hackers go to these garbages and extract these papers and try to put it like puzzle in order to read the data inside. It is deeply like this. So these should be also protection mechanisms, for example, like burning the papers, which is best solution, not just scratching them. But this for confidential, high confidential information. Okay, this is important, incident management. When I went to Intersec conference, I talked with the Huawei manager. He was CSO, Chief Security Officer. So we talked about incident management that Huawei do inside their responsible disclosure program. Software that automatically handle the incident handling. So whenever you report something to Huawei, they triage it, they check the report and they detect, they confirm it, they analyze it, and they respond to you. But such stuff like this, it will be done automatically on their platform. Then an employee will talk to you, but after checking the results found on the platform. Now these stuff are handled by HackerOne. If you know HackerOne triage team, it is called. So HackerOne staff. When you report a report to a program managed by HackerOne, the triage team come. He handled the reporting and detection. Because later on I will talk to you, because I also was interviewed by Facebook. I was invited to work as a Facebook security analyst in London. So we had discussion about how the report section is done, report and handling and detecting and analyzing. Because even the triage team has an internal team and has a response team and also has an incident team. So there are multiple teams. Okay, vulnerability assessment also important. We will talk about it technically. So it is like testing the application and checking for any improper security controls that might happen. For example, old version for a software that maybe has a vulnerable old CVE or something that will lead to critical issue. We will use vulnerability assessment in our lab in system exploitation part. Okay, these are also concepts. You can check them. Generating report, we will talk about how to implement, how to write a great report for HackerOne, Bugcrowd, this stuff. We all know what is penetration testing. It is simulating the attack to find vulnerabilities and then conducting a report. The difference between penetration testing and red teaming is that penetration testing, you just find a vulnerability, you ask if you have permission to go deep or not, to continue to proceed. If you got the permission, you continue deeping. If you don't, you stop and you report. While in red teaming, you just get, for example, this is the URL or this is the application, and you have to find whatever there is and focus on just server-side issues that will allow you to steal information or expose information or access the server. We talked about red teaming and the blue teaming. Okay, this is also important. Black box testing. What is the type of penetration testing? This also are useful for red teaming. Black box testing is that you have a testing or you have an application that you need to test with no any knowledge about its infrastructure. So I have a scenario. Please just hang on with me a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. Maybe on Twitter. Okay, this is better. Yes. So if you remember my project, if you read it, so I had a penetration testing project. The company just sent me the APK file, and this APK file we will work on it when we come to the mobile penetration testing, mobile hacking stuff. We will decode its JavaScript files, and you will see how, if you were able to decode JavaScript files, how you will end up finding critical vulnerabilities. So let's just go back a little bit to the slide. So black box testing is testing an environment that you don't have any knowledge about it. Blind testing, double blind testing. So you don't have what is running inside, the technologies used, so on. While white box testing is that you have knowledge. For example, they will explain everything. I also got a project. I don't know if you know this company. It's called Rawa TV. It's like okay, they are working on an update. So it is like it's a streaming platform for Arab contents. So they gave me a PDF document file with everything inside, the technologies that they are used, the structure of their database, everything. Why? Because they needed to find specific type of vulnerabilities. So they gave me every information, all the knowledge about their infrastructure. This is called white box testing. So you already have all the knowledge. And the gray box testing is limited. So they give you limited information. For example, they tell you this website is built by PHP, MySQL, and running on Unix server, for example, like this. While here they tell you the version, it is for example running on Node.js version X, for example. We use for example microservices and blah blah stuff. So and they give you also documents. While black box testing, you don't have anything. They just you the APK file, or they give you the URL, just like this. So this project, from this project, it was full black box testing. So I had just had the APK file, and what I did, just I went through these steps. I reversed engineered the file. I tried to decode the JavaScript files, decoded successfully. Here I performed source code analysis, found IP address, scanned the IP address, open port, accessed GitLab, found a vulnerability in GitLab, and so on, in order to be able to download. So what I did is that I enlarged the chances to get vulnerabilities. So when I accessed GitLab, I downloaded all the data, and then I started also doing source code review. So I did source code review for the application itself and for the project itself. Then I found a password. I tried to find technologies. I found the Redis database. It is like MySQL and so on. Luckily, the password worked for it. So inside Redis, I also did source code review, found encrypted password, decrypted them, accessed the backend management panel, where all important information found there. Last thing, I did RCE from Redis. So I escalated Redis to RCE. There are a couple of techniques. So, and believe me, when I got the project, I didn't know how to decrypt JavaScript files, and even I don't know how to use Redis. I didn't use Redis before this time, never. So I just learned it on Google. That's why I'm self-taught, and it is very important to be self-taught, even to depend on you too. I didn't know how to exploit Redis through RCE. So here in this course, I will also teach you how to depend on yourself to learn new stuff, new techniques, because I am sure that some of you here didn't understand all the things that we talked about. So this is good. So you can now, you knew something called VPS server, something called Unix operating system, Unix server, Linux commands. So this is important for you to go and search and learn by yourself. And for sure, anything you need, I'm here. For example, you knew that we can clear logs. So the people smart like you, for example, will go on Google and learn for advanced techniques to delete logs, maybe delete logs for Windows as well, not just Linux, and so on. So it is always the curiosity to learn new things, to be smart, to be special, extraordinary in your field. This is the important. Okay. Okay, this we will discuss it tomorrow. This section, we have still something here we want to talk about. We still have time. Give me just a second to check my notes. Okay, so just simple tips here. So we discussed this stuff. Oops. So simple notes to follow here in this course. Please, after I finish every course, just watch the video again and take notes. So now write everything that you feel it is important for you, because everyone has different major. Maybe everyone will focus on different kind of vulnerabilities. Everyone has different thoughts. So take notes. What I do usually, I use Microsoft OneNote. So this is a software. It is an application on Windows that you can take notes. I will show you an example. So this is the Microsoft OneNote that I use. So you can see I have section for web hacking, payloads, mobile hacking, resources, commands, forensics, investigation. And inside every section, I have multiple types, pages for type of attacks, file upload, security misconfigurations, bypassing two-factor authentication, and so on, RCE, API hacking. For example, if we went to source code review, I write all my notes related to source code review. So, in case I learn something new, I go through it again and write additional things. So this is important for you, and this is important like your friend in this journey. So whenever you learn a new technique here, you learn a new idea, a new thing, you just add a note, add a section regarding this type, for example, and add it here, add note for you. This is what I prefer, because a lot of the times you may forget. You may forget some ideas. You may forget a tool name, a link, for example, or a tip. So add everything. For example, do section for tips, section for web hacking, section for mobile hacking. It is better. Okay, another. Okay. Also, and in this course, I will show you almost all tools that I use in Bug Bounty. And you will see that I usually depend on manual analysis. And mostly I use Burp Suite, which is here. So I depend on Burp Suite a lot. And I will show you my hacks and tips inside Burp Suite. So everything I will show you. Also, take something in consideration. The tool it is not so important. The important is the mentality. It is how you think. It is the mindset that you set it for yourself in learning, and it is the way of thinking. So tool is just facilitator. So it facilitates the work for you. Even the automation that we will do in reconnaissance, we will automate everything using Bash script. So it is how you think about this stuff and how you apply it in the real world. But it is not the automation that gets you bugs. It is the way of thinking that you did in order to get bugs. So this is just tips for you, hints that I usually use. Now we will talk about what is bug bounty hunting, because also, again, some of you know hacking in general but are not familiar in bug bounty hunting. Some of you are bug bounty hunters but didn't get a chance to find a lot of vulnerabilities. So let's discuss it a little bit. So bug bounty hunting, you heard about platforms. Let me just do it separately because I have two screens. I have notes on my second screen, and at the same time, I have the monitor that you're seeing now, which is the one that I explain on. So this is bug bounty in general. You can see there are some platforms like HackerOne.com, BuggyCrowd.com, Synack.com, which is private, Yogosha.com, which is also private. But the main platforms are HackerOne and BuggyCrowd. I will explain more. I will elaborate more. It is good for you to know. So here, whenever you find vulnerability in any program, you can report it directly, which we will be learning in this course. So, and we will try also hacking on these programs. So whenever you have a program in mind, you would like to hack on it, please drop it in the description, and we will apply our learning on it, because we are authorized to hack on them. If we find vulnerability during the description, the class, we can report it. So bug bounty hunting is simply finding a vulnerability or a weakness, security weakness, and reporting it ethically. In return, you earn money. You earn Hall of Fame, got listed in Hall of Fame or certificate. Sorry. So, and also you have to distinguish between 3 types. For example, in bug bounty hunting, we have something called VRP, which is Vulnerability Reward Program. This is the program that pay. It is VRP, reward. And we have something called VDP, which is the Vulnerability Disclosure Program. This is a program that doesn't pay you, like Sony, for example. Sony award you t-shirt, swag, and other stuff like ESET, reward you security certificate, for example. Even Huawei, for example, award you certificate of appreciation. So disclosure program are programs that don't pay you. So here, the VRPs are harder than VDP. Why? Because the skilled hackers, they go for the programs that award money, because they will not waste their time on reputation and some stuff unless they have business plans. Okay, so what I did, for example, I hacked on US Department of Defense, which is VDP. I didn't earn money, but I earned the reputation. The reputation allowed me to find good job, for example. And at the same time, after finishing from VDP, I hacked on VRP and I earned some money. So you can do both. Also, there are something called RDP, which they are called the Responsible Disclosure Programs. What is the Responsible Disclosure Program? It is a program that operates by itself. So you can, BlackBerry, for example. BlackBerry Security Report. BlackBerry made the Hall of Fame. We will have them. Yeah, BlackBerry Product Security Incident Response, which is also as responsible disclosures. Okay. Acknowledgements. And here, for example, you can see there are acknowledgements. So here are the hackers that reported the vulnerabilities to BlackBerry and they got accepted and they added them to the Hall of Fame. I remember maybe in 2019 or in 2020, I reported something. Yeah, here. So I reported a vulnerability in 2019. So it was accepted and they awarded me on Hall of Fame. So it's like this. You can use it as a reputation for you for work purposes. So money is not everything. It is the reputation for you, the name for you. And also for sure have some good quality reports and critical reports in hand. So what you can do in this course, for example, you can practice on VDP and on RDP. Why? Because they are much easier, more chances to find vulnerabilities. And when you feel yourself comfortable, you go for VRP, that rewards money. Because VRP will be more challenging by hackers. Unless you targeted a VRP that is newly found, that is newly, for example, launched. So tips to find vulnerabilities faster: target newly launched program. So whenever there is a new program launched on HackerOne, let us check HackerOne again. So we can see in directory section, it shows you all the programs that are launched on HackerOne. So what you can do is simply you can search by date, as I remember. Here by date. So you can see here are the old programs. Okay, the old programs, and if you click here, these are the new programs. So you can see this is launched in 2022. So just go after the new programs added, because there will be a low possibility that hackers hack it, and you may find simple bugs easily. Some programs are already were private programs, and now they are public. For example, eToro, Instacart, they were before private programs, but it doesn't allow you to check them as well. So target newly launched programs. Okay, also target private programs. Private programs, the programs that you got invited to when you report a vulnerability on HackerOne or BugCrowd. Why? Because private programs also have more chances to find vulnerabilities on them. What else? Monitor. This is very important, and this got me a lot of vulnerabilities and a lot of bounties because of this. So monitor for any changes in a program scopes. This is important. Okay, you will notice something here. I will click on more than one program publicly that pays, because I don't hack on programs that don't pay. Okay, offer bounties. Pioneer. This one. So let's see. So notice that when I clicked on eToro program, see this subscribed, it is enabled for me on my profile. Instacart, it's also enabled. Oh, I forgot to enable it. So it is enabled, also enabled. So what does this mean? Okay, so what does this mean? Subscribe. So subscribe to any notification when this program updates their policy or bounty amounts. So a lot of programs add sometimes a new scope here. In scope sections, add a new scope. So they add a new scope, but they don't notify hackers. They just notify the hackers that clicked on subscribe bell icon. Why? Because they just want the hackers that click on here to benefit. So you got an email on your HackerOne, the email that you created your HackerOne account with. You get an email, for example, saying that some program updated his policy. I will show you example. Just let me open the email in private. So what I was doing, I was a full-time bug bounty hunter. Okay. So I was full-time bug bounty hunter for maybe 6 months. So I did this thing, and I was monitoring every change inside any program. So whenever there is a new scope added, I go directly and scan it and find vulnerabilities reported the first person. A lot of times I see, for example, some hackers, maybe one or two hackers, also did the same, but I was faster in reporting, and sometimes the otherwise. So maybe you find something simple, as CSRF, for example, on login page, or CSRF on change password, change email, so on, which will be high and rewardable. So just I will show you example. Okay, like this. Let me add it here. Like this. Coupa has updated their scope. So I got a message from HackerOne saying me that Coupa, they updated their scope. Sometimes updated their bounty table. Sometimes they added something. Sometimes they updated their policy, not scope. So this notification, so by enabling bell icon on all H1 public, even private as well, programs that you have access to. So by that, you will get notified for any changes in policy, scope, and bounty. This is very important. And through it, using this technique, I was able to find a lot of vulnerabilities and easy bugs because I just kept monitoring for everything. Also, a funny bug you want to hear about, which is denial of service on HackerOne. Let me tell you about it, even if it's not so much in our topic. I don't know if someone knew about this vulnerability that I discovered in HackerOne. I already published it publicly. So I found a denial of service out of memory type, it is client side, on updating bounty table. So what I did is that I enabled the bell on all HackerOne programs. And the additional thing that I did, that whenever I got a message, I click here. I click on the blue link. So, and I see the behavior. I monitor each behavior every day for maybe 2-3 months. And then I found an error. I found a bug. So the table, let me show you the video. Where is the video? The video is on YouTube, I remember. Just also give me a little bit. I want to show you the video. Okay, here we go. So we have this video. That's high quality. Started. So denial of service, crashing any user browser and load CPU to the maximum usage. So just by monitoring all the policies that are changed. So this is. So notice that Clario, it was in program called the Clario, bounty table versions. So they changed their bounty table. And I got this message inside the email and I click on it. Can you share this link with us? Okay, I will share it. So, and right click, copy link inside the Gmail, and I paste it here in order for them to understand. Just pasting this link on any user that has HackerOne, simply his browser will crash. So sometimes you have to play it smart, not so hard. Sometimes just think differently, different than others, where to find a bug, how to play it in a smart way, and you will find something. So crashing the browser, increasing CPU to the 100 maybe. Yeah, see the CPU here. And crash the browser. Sadly, they didn't award bounty because they put denial of service out of scope. Knowing that before, they awarded bounty for a person who reported same denial of service but in an input, they awarded him as a medium $2,500. Okay, so you can, this is the report. I will share it here. Or I will share it on the discussions. It is better so all can check it. Okay, what else we have? What else? Okay, so I believe these are the most three tips for you to find vulnerabilities for now. Uh, also, for me, for example, me personally, I target wide scope. So I target all the scope that has for example, Sony.com, for example. So I target all this because all subdomains are in scope. I like to target big programs and then go to the application structure. You will see the way of thinking that I have, the mentality that I have, because every hacker thinks differently, and because for example, for me, I don't like reporting XXE, for example, or hard XSS injection. I don't like this stuff. I like when I see a security control, for example, I see a two-factor authentication protection, I like to break it. When I see an enforced password or you are not able to change your email, I like to break it to bypass this protection. I like this stuff. And also I like rate limiting issues. Okay, let's talk about something interesting I just remembered. Also, in my reports, you will note that there are simple bugs just required me to think smart. So a lot of hackers tell me that rate limiting issues are not bugs, plus they will be closed as not applicable. Not applicable means that they will close badly and you will lose points, reputation points. So the problem, the main problem is that most of us, for example, don't read program policy. So yes, rate limit is important, but at the same time, it is not important for every program. But some programs, they consider rate limit an important issue. For example, if you remember, Facebook awarded $30,000 for brute force issue on Instagram. If you remember, the hacker, it awarded him $30,000 for just simple brute forcing a password. As I remember, mobile code, as I remember, the 6-digit codes. So you have to know where to report, when to report, and to whom to report. For example, some programs don't accept rate limit, but at the same time, other programs consider it one of its top priorities. So here you have to be smart. So you have to read the policy. Read the policy properly. Read the policy properly. Why? Because for example, some for example accept self XSS. If you did XSS just on yourself, they will accept it. Some will accept maybe text injection. You know what is text injection? It is very simple stuff, but it is accepted by some programs. So don't just go for high critical issues if you are able to find simple stuff and get money, because here it depends on what you want. For example, for me, I was depending on getting money, for example. Then I depended at first my bug bounty hunting. I was focusing on getting reputation, then on getting money. So I reported anything easy, hard, low, critical, medium, whatever I come across. Then I reported high quality bugs. Why? Because I want to find good work, for example. So I want to show great write-ups. So that's why I was just searching for critical issues. So don't underestimate easy bugs, simple bugs, like brute force issues, like rate limiting issues. Also, we will talk later on about brute force, how it can cause critical stuff. Why can it cause critical issues? Because maybe you will find a password, you will find something, you will get RCE, or you will get internal access. So don't underestimate brute force, because hackers will brute force, the malicious hackers will brute force, not like us. They will not use Burp Suite Intruder, or they will not use our friendly server here. No, they will use something called online services that runnings on GPUs, and they brute force very rapidly. For example, they do a lot of 1,000 combinations within seconds, so they have easy chances to find vulnerabilities. To find a valid password. So they either will destroy your system, they will cause you denial of service, or they will find the password. No third option. That's why you don't have to underestimate brute force, and you have to look for it as well for the programs that likes reporting rate limiting issues. And we will talk about brute force as well. Let me check my notes if there is anything also. Yeah, now we may go back to this section. I will not delete anything. I like to keep this stuff and add on them whenever I like remembered something. Because usually I don't prepare for classes, but I write notes. So whenever I got an idea, I write note, even if we are not in the class. So wherever I come, I can tell it to you. Let's discuss the tools that we're gonna use, the tools, softwares. I think this will be the last thing we will do now, because it is now 9. Even if we were late 30 minutes, we still have tomorrow. We can also, and don't worry, we have time. We have like 20 hours. We can stay for 1 month and a half. And even if we finished, for example, in the version 1, we finished the 20 hours. I think we stayed maybe 26 hours. So even if we finish the 20 hours and finish the whole content, we can stay a couple of hours, maybe 2-3 hours, just doing normal hacking, checking online programs and hacking them, just for us to have more practice and to show you some tips. Maybe I forgot to tell you, because teaching something and doing actual hacking is other thing. So it is important to do live hacking sessions, maybe 2 sessions or 3 sessions for us in the end. Okay, so we're gonna use actually web browser. Yes, so you can choose either Google Chrome or Firefox. Both are good. We're gonna use something called Proxyfoxy. It is browser extension just to like help us intercept the connection proxy between browser and Burp Suite. Also, we will use Burp Suite Professional Edition, not the normal one. Don't worry if you don't have the license. It costs maybe $400 or $350. Don't worry at all. It's okay. My friend Jawad, he has a crack version. It is so professional and so good. He used it personally. I use the commercial version for my company, which called Firephoenix. They have the license and they gave me the license because we use it at work. So you can use the professional version as well, but for the crack one. I will tell my friend to attach it in the group so you can download it. It is important.
Sure, I can share that as well. No problem. Yeah.
What?
I can share that cracked one to everyone as well. Not a problem.
You have as well?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay, great then. Yeah, thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay, so we also will use virtual machines. So we will use, I highly suggest not using VirtualBox. I suggest using VMware Workstation. Why VMware? Why VMware? It is this one. Because it is, for me, on experience after using VirtualBox and VMware, VirtualBox has some issues currently with Windows 11. Virtual machine workstation is more stable. So we're gonna use virtual machine to launch maybe Ubuntu or Kali Linux. So, and to install Metasploitable on it and our lab that we're gonna do. So virtual machine, VMware workstation. Don't worry, I have the crack version. I will attach the keys for you. Not crack, sorry, I have some keys, legitimate keys. So I will attach them to you because it is paid. And also we will either, so it is up to you. For the operating system, it is up to you, for the OS. For me personally, I like using Ubuntu. I use Ubuntu a lot, not Kali Linux. I use Ubuntu. Ubuntu, it is simple to Kali Linux. Let me show you. So this is the Kali Linux, and I will also open Ubuntu, so you can see both. For you, as for the beginners that joining this course that don't know much about hacking, it is good to use Kali Linux for your start because Ubuntu is more advanced. You have to install all tools by your own. But Kali Linux, it comes with predefined tools, so they are already installed. So this is the Kali Linux, and also they improved its view. It's cool, and this is the Ubuntu. For me personally, I use Ubuntu more, but for this course, maybe I will use just Kali Linux because there are some tools. Oops. So ignore this stuff, they are work stuff. Okay, so this is Ubuntu. It is almost similar, same based, Linux based. So just different releases and so on. No worries about this stuff. So it is up to you. Maybe you can use Ubuntu, you can use Kali Linux or Kali Linux, and you can download Kali Linux, the virtual machine edition. Let me show you, because no need to download the main. Okay, so simply kali.org/get-kali virtual machine. So you can download this one, the virtual machine, and directly import it, and it is done. Download VMware. This is here as well, VMware. You can download the VMware. Try workstation for Windows. So just click here, try workstation for Windows, or if you have other than Windows, it's up to you, Linux. And I will give you the license key. What else we will have to download? Let me check. We will use as well. Okay, VPS server. I highly suggest using VPS server. So why VPS server? Because it is faster than your internet connection. It is public, has public IP address. So you don't have to worry about opening open port inside your network and your router, checking for listening connections in order to get external connection and this worried stuff. You can just monitor using Netcat, for example, and get RCE simply, get reverse shell simply. It is already open inside their services. So I will guide you to the VPS server. Don't worry, I have a video here on YouTube for the guy you all know, as I remember, is called Nahamsek. So Nahamsek did a video setting up your Ubuntu box for pentest and bug bounty automation. I highly suggest checking his video, installing the tools inside. So he will just guide you how to create an account on. Okay. Wow, 2 ads in a row. Okay, so we're gonna use DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean is very important cloud service that will provide you with a VPS server, VPL droplet. So you can just follow the video and you will get, using his link, $300 DigitalOcean credit. So using this link, you will get free $100 credit in your account. But first, you have to enter your Visa card or credit card or debit card in order to activate them. They will not take any from your card, so don't worry. I also, maybe 1.5 years ago when I did it through this method. And then after that, you can downgrade. So you can choose, for example, $15 or 20, for example, the best fit to you. And you can downgrade after that, after the 2 months, because they give you $100 for 2 months. So you get 2 months free, and then you have to pay it yourself. If you are dedicated to bug bounty, or you use it in your work, or you like it during these 2 months, which will be the duration of the course, half of them the duration of the course, you will use it for sure. So you can keep it for $10. For example, my VPS server, this one that you saw, this VPS server, come on. Okay, this VPS server, I pay for it just $10 a month, and it is great. And I do everything I need. For example, all the tools. I even launch. Let me check. Oh, also I launch like services to run, and I close it, for example, and they are running on the background, finishing their work for automated stuff. So it is very helpful. $10 is more than enough. You can also do $5 a month. So it is not expensive. It is cheap. So I highly suggest. I will attach the link as well. Why? Because in VPS server, for example, the subdomain enumeration on your laptop, on your virtual machine with your local connection, maybe will get you, it will finish in 15 minutes, while on VPS server, it will finish in 2 minutes. This is the difference. In VPS server, you can do automated stuff. You can put a command and go back, and I will teach you how to do it. And for example, go back to the next day and you see the results. While in a virtual machine, you have to keep your laptop open and so on. You will like use a lot of resources of your laptop. So it is important to use VPS server, and it is easy to install like this. So you can either use PuTTY to connect. PuTTY is a software to connect to to the VPS server, or you can go to Microsoft Store, like what I did, and search
So
for
you
Ubuntu.
want us to set up this VPS server and all these tools on our system, right?
Yes, on your system. Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So as you see, I searched for Ubuntu. You can click on Ubuntu, this is the app, and click on Get. I don't know what Ubuntu I use. I use the latest version, the 20.0.4. You can use this one because it's open. Yeah, you can click on Get, for example. It will be installed and it will be directly here, maybe, or you can just search, type Ubuntu, and you will find it in the search. Maybe you will force a problem, simple problem. You have to activate something inside Windows. Everything is explained in the Windows page where you go, and it is very easy. Just follow the steps and you will do it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what else we need? Yeah, and then later on we will install Metasploitable. I will attach you the link. It is not hard. We can find it here as well. For example, everything you need on Google, just install Metasploitable. Also, go to the legitimate websites, docs.rapid7. So don't go to any website that is not legitimate, that is not the owner of the software itself. Metasploitable made by Rapid7, so this is their legitimate website. So there is something here, should be installing setting up Metasploitable. So here, like Metasploitable also will attach the link. So simply you download Metasploitable is available at, just simply download it from here or from here. Keep it with you on your operating system for now until we use it later on. If anything you forgot, just go back to the video, check where I entered, and simply you will find. Okay, what else we need? That's it for now, because let me show you just quick overview. CD scripts. So honestly, I'm sharing everything. Please don't share it with anyone, the records or the stuff here, guys, because this is the structure, my methodology, that you just deserve to know it because you paid for it, not other people. So and I don't want this to be public, because also I worked hard to write these scripts. So I have something called the scripts folder, ls-la. These all are my scripts that does the reconnaissance. Secret finder to find secrets, acquisitions to find acquisition, Sewell to generate word list depending on the website itself, CNAME to find CNAME, records in DNSs, content discovery for brute force, for subdomains based on organization names, directory brute force, enumerating live subdomains, fastport scan for single target, FUF tool. What is this? So there are some tools I forgot what they are. Jira detection, JavaScript endpoints, so on, JavaScript formatter. Yeah, Nmap, nuclei. So there are a lot of tools you will see. Even they didn't finish it. So all these tools, I will share it with you. Not just explain it, I will share the whole source code with you as well. So you can just implement them on your Ubuntu server, start hacking, start reconnaissance, start collecting information. Okay, we will discuss, but we will discuss it step by step, because if I showed you directly everything, you will not understand. That's why you will feel everything is basic, everything is easy, because I will show it step by step. So to avoid complications. Okay. We still have talks about how the client and server works, how the DNS works, how web browser actually works, but we will leave them to the next, and also the HTTP methods. These are very important, and the status codes. So also these are from basics stuff as well, like today we discussed, but they will not be like this slides. We will enter some website, for example, or image, and explain it, because this is important to know basics before. For example, we have to know how is the request made up of, what are the request methods, the status codes, in order to know how to hack properly. So we will leave them to the next session, which is tomorrow at 8 p.m. So our session timing will be Saturday 7 p.m., Sunday 8 p.m. So we will be just 1 hour difference on Sunday. Don't worry if someone didn't make it live session, because it will be recorded. I will share everything on my Google Drive, and you can install it. Okay, if you have any question, please ask. If you don't have, you are free to leave. We finished for now. I hope you enjoyed the session.
Yeah, most of the concepts are clear. Everything is clear basically. And I wanted to know that, like, when we are starting the practical steps, like,
When we will start the practical stuff?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can say from tomorrow, but we will not go hacking a target, because tomorrow,
Get it.
while explaining HTTP stuff, we have to explain it on real environment. So we will browse some sites and so on.
Great,
Yeah.
Ahmad. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I'll
Okay.
share the necessary informations that I have told you that over the group, like burp suit and everything, and the respective Java version also I have downloaded. So I will send over the group so they can install it as
Okay,
well on this system.
much appreciated.
Sure, Ahmad. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you all, and thanks to our friend. Until tomorrow, we'll see you. Have a great night. Goodbye.